Hi boys and girls, this is Miss McGee and I teach 3rd and 4th grade and 2nd too. I'm going to be reading chapter 16 to you. The bell rang at 3 o'clock. Everyone grabbed their backpacks and headed for the door. They were on their way to soccer practice or sax lessons or other fun after school activities. But not me. Nope. I was about to start my first day of detention. It was going to be in a chair and Mrs. Adolph at her desk for the next fun-filled hour. I must have sighed really loudly. "Do you have something to say?" Miss Adolph asked. I didn't say a word. I made a sound. The human body does that sometimes. "Henry," Mrs. Adolph said, "I assume you want to use this time wisely." "Yes, Miss Adolph," I answered. I couldn't imagine Miss Adolph having a first name. Maybe her friends just called her Miss Adolph. "I've decided to have you write your composition under my supervision," she said, "using paper and pencil, Henry. No monkey business this time." I don't know why people always think monkey business is a bad thing. I love monkeys. They always seem to have such a good time picking bugs off one another and eating them. I took out a piece of paper and stared at it. It was blank. So blank. Miss Adolph sat down at her desk and began to write her brand new roll book. Neither one of us made a sound. It was so quiet I could hear her breathing. The clock on the wall clicked and a big hand jerked forward. 1 minute down, 59 to go. Suddenly, the classroom door flew open and a messenger from the office came in. She handed Mrs. Adolph a note and disappeared just as quickly. Miss Adolph read the note and disappeared just as quickly. She got her purse from the bottom drawer. "I have an emergency. I have to deal with," she said. Her pet fire-breathing dragon must have gotten sick. "My husband's car won't start and I have to pick him up from work." "Husband? Someone married her? No way!" "Do you think he kisses her goodnight?" I must have wrinkled up my face because Miss Adolph said, "What's the face for, Henry?" I was just thinking, how it would feel for a raisin to try to lift up an elephant," I said. "You would do better to keep your mind on your work, Henry, and not fill your head with silly thoughts." Miss Adolph put the roll book in the top drawer and locked it with her shiny key. She scribbled a note on a post-it note and gave it to me. "The office has arranged for you to spend the rest of the hour in the music room with Mr. Rock, the music teacher. He's on his way. Go there and give him this note. Sit quietly until he arrives. The music room is in the basement. Even though it's right next to the lunchroom, I don't go there unless I have to. Being there makes me remember my 2nd grade chorus tryouts, which I've been trying to forget ever since it happened. That was when Mrs. Peacock, the music teacher, told me that if I wanted to be in the chorus, I couldn't sing out loud. I was only allowed to mouth the words, so I wouldn't throw everyone else off key. Mrs. Peacock left last year to have a baby. I had never met Mr. Rock. He was new. The first thing I noticed when I went into the music room were the posters all around the room. Most of them were of composers, Beethoven and Mozart and all those other old guys, but there were other posters too, cool ones. Pink Floyd, a supersized photo of Manhattan from the air, an action shot of Michael Jordan going up for a tomahawk dunk, and my favorite, a picture of the coolest 1959 red and white Corvette you've ever seen. A whole bunch of instruments were spread out in the room. There were triangles and xylophones and a piano. I sat down in a chair facing a set of silver and burgundy drums. I realized that my leg was bouncing up and down at about a mile a minute. It does that sometimes when I'm supposed to be sitting still. As I sat there, it hit me that I had 2 whole weeks of misery in front of me. It didn't seem fair. I was being punished for trying to do my best. Thoughts started coming from every corner of my brain. I wish Principal Love had let me finish just one sentence. I wish my parents had given me a chance to tell them how much I know about Niagara Falls. I wished I were as smart as my sister. She could do anything. She just toilet trained her parakeet. My parents are always so proud of her. I picked up one of the drumsticks and tapped the big drum. It felt good. I liked the sound. I hit it again, a little louder. Then I picked up the other stick and looked around to make sure I was still alone. Bam! I hit the drum first with one stick and then another. Bam, ba, bam! The drums were starting to sound like I felt. Bam! I wish I didn't always forget my backpack. Bam! I wish I could do long division. Bam! I wish I didn't feel so stupid all the time. Before I knew it, I was hitting the drum so fast I could hardly see my hands. The cymbal was right in front of me. Why not? I hit it. Clash! The sound vibrated all around the room. I smacked it again. Now back to the drums. Bam, clash, boom! That's for detention, I shouted. Clash, bam, boom! That's for always getting in trouble. My voice rang out. Bam, bam, bamity, bam! That's 5, 1 for each paragraph I can't write. Bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom! And that's for my stupid brain, I yelled. From behind me, I heard a man's voice. I'll bet your brain isn't stupid. I froze, then slowly turned around. The man in the doorway had a young face, but a head full of curly silver hair. He was wearing a blue denim shirt and a tie with musical notes on it. Mr. Rock, I asked. That's me, he answered. Does your brain have a CD out yet? I'm really sorry, I said. I know I wasn't supposed to touch these, but they're instruments, Mr. Rock said. They're here to play. Sounds like they helped you express yourself. I had a bad day, I said. Because of your stupid brain, he asked. Yeah, how'd you know? Because you just said it, he said with a smile. It was hard to miss. I handed Mr. Rock the note from Miss Adolph. He read it, then pulled up a chair and sat down backwards on it. I assumed he was going to ask me why I was on detention, but he didn't. So your name is Henry Zipper, he said. My friends call me Hank. Hank? That's a good name, he said. Ever heard of Hank Aaron? April 8th, 1974, I answered. The day Hammer and Hank beat Babe Ruth's home run record. I'm a baseball fan too, he said. I don't suppose you know what number home run Hank Aaron hit on that day. 715. Do you want to know a weird Hank Aaron fact? Sure, said Mr. Rock. In 4 of his 23 seasons in baseball, Hank Aaron hit exactly 44 home runs, which was his uniform number. Pretty amazing, huh? Seems to me, Mr. Rock said, that your brain isn't as stupid as you think. It's got plenty of good information tucked inside. I don't have a problem remembering interesting facts, I explained. I just can't do a lot with them. Like writing essays and spelling are tough. Stuff that's easy for everyone else. Everybody learns differently, he said. Your brain is your brain. You have to figure out the right way to feed it. I gave it a lot of Cocoa Puffs this morning, I said. How about music? He laughed. Do you ever feed it with music? He actually waited for an answer. No, I said. Mr. Rock rubbed his hands together as though he was about to eat something delicious. I'll make a deal with you, he said. Mrs. Adolph's note says you're supposed to work on your essay. We've got 45 minutes of detention left. Let's take a few minutes and listen to some music. It might put you in the writing mood. What do you like? Well, my essay is supposed to be about Niagara Falls. Let me see if I can find some water music, he said. What does Niagara Falls sound like? It sounds like thunder when I was there. He shuffled through some CDs and picked out one. This is part of the Grand Canyon Suite, he said. It's called Cloudburst. He put it on, then turned it up loud. It really felt as though it were raining right there in the basement of PS 87. I'm not kidding. Papa Pete says that you never know where good luck is going to come from. In my case, it came from Big Harry's Auto and Body Shop, which took the entire week to fix Mr. Adolph's car. Miss Adolph had to leave early every day to pick up her husband, so I got to spend 1 whole week of detention with Mr. Rock. He taught me how to play Hey Jude on the xylophone. We looked at magazine pictures of our favorite cars. I picked out a Ferrari F50 convertible, and he picked out a 1947 Ford Woody with a surfboard on top. He put me in total charge of trimming the dead leaves off his indoor plants. I liked that job. We worked on my essay too. When I got stuck, which was every other second of every other minute, he asked me questions like, how did the falls make you feel? Or what did you like best about the trip? That really helped me focus. The best part was when we listened to music. He put on a CD, and then we just sit back and let music fill the room. It felt so good. I couldn't believe I was in school.